outside of the why, I like to like go a little bit further, and after I discover what my why is, I usually put a because behind it. So for me, you know, one of my big whys is is that like I want to be successful in content creation, and because I want to create legacy, an archive of legacy that I can give to my kids, and also to many of you that's out there that's watching, because there you had it, because I'm very passionate. I really do care about the futures of others. I care, about not suppressing uh, my freedom to get out the message and advocate on the behalf of you guys. Find important resources and tools that can help you, and because like if I don't do it, it will kill me eternally. That I'm not able to push out some of this stuff to leave behind the legacy, and because like my kids will suffer because of it, and you who consume this content will suffer because of it if I'm not consistent or pushing forward. So that's a really complicated way of like giving you an example. It may sound very complicated, but I say start with the why and then work on adding because behind it. Now, if I still got your attention, let's take a quick pause, everyone. If you find this topic as powerful as I am, you're going to love my Medium publication. I deep dive into topics like mental resilience, spiritual growth, and personal transformation. By subscribing, you will get access to exclusive content, tips, and stories that don't make it onto the podcast. I got a lot of them, yeah, and every day as a journalist, I get pitched a lot of stuff. So support the journey, gain insights, and join our growing community on Medium. Just head over to the link in the description, hit follow to keep up with all our latest posts. Now, back to the resilience and mental toughness. I hope you enjoyed that quick break. So we're back. All right, now let's dive into two of my favorite tools, humor and adaptability. These are absolutely game changer when it comes to staying resilient under pressure. Let's start with humor, and by the way, I was a stand-up comedian for about a year. Seriously underrated, And speaking of seriously underrated but incredibly powerful, humor is one of those things that on the surface may not seem like much, but it can turn a tense situation into something bearable. Picture this. I'm overseas in full gear, tired, far from home, and just wishing I could have a hot shower. And what do? I crack a joke with guys next to me, with the guys that are in my platoon, in my squad, those who might not be in my squad, but I see them on a day-to-day basis. We laugh about the smallest things. And for a minute, everything felt pretty normal. That's the power of humor, everybody. It keeps you grounded, helps you breathe, and it makes the unbearable, well, a little bit more bearable. So how does this translate into what we talked about? In leadership, humor plays a similar role. Leaders use it to diffuse tension, gain perspective, and even boost morale. I mean, let's be real. No one wants to follow someone who's serious 24/7. Rather not people like really tore Donald Trump down for his jokes. And maybe some jokes came out a little bit more hardcore and raw than others, but he was someone who was authentic and used humor to the best of his advantage. So imagine yourself trying to keep morale up with a stone-faced leader who never cracks a smile. Trump, once again, for instance, love him or hate him, often uses humor or at least sarcasm as a bit of a shield. I can really see that. People really comment a lot on this sense of humor. He throws in a joke here and there, sometimes to deflect criticism or just to lighten the room. I mean, the whole garbage truck thing was classic trolling at its best. And then the McDonald's thing, oh yeah, really deflecting towards the criticism. But it's a way to show, hey, I'm human too. I can laugh at myself. It's a way to stay grounded and keep things from getting too serious. And we know politics in any shape or fashion is, I don't know, entertaining, but he makes it. Let's take a pause there. Now, here's a fun fact for you. Studies show that humor actually lowers stress hormones and releases feel-good chemicals like endorphins. So it's not just a mental trick. It's actually backed by science for those who are hardcore about science. Wink, wink. Leaders who show humor have a better shot at connecting with their team. They can break down the barriers and at the same time, stay a little sane and keep everybody sane, hopefully in the process. And you know what the best part is, Transformers? You don't need to be a comedian to use humor. You don't have to take it as far as I did, do stand-up comedy for a year. Unless you feel like you're up for the challenge. I would recommend it to anybody. But aside from that, even a simple smile, a lighthearted comment, or a shared laugh can change the tone of a meeting, a conversation, or even a negotiation. Now, let's shift gears to adaptability. If humor is the feel-good part of resilience, then certainly adaptability is the get real part. Adaptability is what separates those who thrive from those who burn out completely sometimes. Think about it like this. Life is like being on a boat, and the waves, they're constantly changing, shifting, sometimes calm, sometimes stormy. Resilient leaders don't fight the tide. They adjust their sails. They're flexible. When things don't go as planned, they recalibrate, they shift, and they move forward. Adaptability, my folks, my people, my Transformers, it's more like a survival skill for modern life. It's not optionable. Optional. It's not out anymore. It's actually essential. Absolutely essential. One thing I love about the concept of adaptability is that it's all about letting go of the need for control. Now, I know, it's easier said than done, right? Especially when we don't want to let go of the need for control. I mean, it's poisonous sometimes and very addictive. We all want things to go our way. Very addictive. But here's the thing. Most resilient people are the ones who understand that control is often an illusion. Probably the best illusion. Okay? I mean, it probably has its own stage in Vegas. But resilient people, they learn to embrace change instead of resisting it. They know that when you stop trying to control everything, you can open yourself up to new possibilities. And I talk about possibilities all the time and how there's countless possibilities. I got a book called Think Possible, Be Possible, which kind of goes into that and give you a deep dive into the ability to open yourself up to new possibilities by shifting your mindset to have a think positive, be positive attitude in this life. Imagine you at work and a huge project fell through. You can sit there, pulling your hair out, trying to figure out what went wrong, or you can step back and ask yourself, all right, what's next? Leaders who thrive don't spend too much time mourning what went wrong. They don't sit there and get all fussy and irritable. Instead, they get busy figuring out what to do next. Adaptability, folks. Adaptability isn't about having all the answers either. Don't think for 1 second that you're going to have all the answers. But you know what it's really about? It's about being willing to pivot. Pivot. And to explore. And to learn to go on. Or learn on the go. And here's a little secret about adaptability that many people won't tell you. You ready for it? Remember, this is a little secret. It gets easier with practice. The more you practice being flexible, the more natural it becomes. Think about it like building a muscle. And try to stay in shape as much as possible. So anytime you want to check out some of my fitness videos, head over to my IG, _official. But anyways, the first time you have to pivot when building muscles, it might feel strange, even uncomfortable. But over time, you'll start to notice that change doesn't shake you like it used to. You become more comfortable with the unknown, more willing to experiment. And honestly, you get more excited about what's possible. Now, before you go thinking adaptability is just about staying positive, let me be clear. Adaptability isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything's fine, folks. It's about facing the challenges head on, acknowledging that things didn't go as planned. And that's all right. And then choosing to respond in a way that keeps you moving forward. You got to keep those feet moving, people, because it's active. It's not passive. I'll give you a real life example. Since I've been bringing up workouts and all that other things, look at the way people handle the global pandemic. You remember that? You remember the pandemic? And we were all thrown into chaos, uncertain, scared, and isolated. The people who adapted, well, those people, they found new ways to work, to connect, to stay healthy. And do you remember, the whole Zoom thing? Do you not remember how live streaming was such a big thing, and how FaceTime became very, very much popular, and Facebook and all the social media platforms was just a big playground for everybody. And then staying healthy, people discovered workout videos. People became more adaptable in the way that they went from personal training in person to personal training right on YouTube. Those are the people who came out stronger, in case you ain't noticed. And hopefully you were one of them. But if you wasn't, look at how they adjusted themselves and they kept moving. That's adaptability. Tons of adaptability as my phone rings. So it's looking at what you got, even if it's not what you wanted, and finding a way to make it work for you. So humor and adaptability, they might sound simple, but they are absolutely powerful tools. Humor lets you take a step back, laugh a little, and not take yourself too seriously. Adaptability lets you move forward, even when the path isn't clear. And together, they create a foundation of resilience that helps leaders, and honestly anyone, keep going no matter what life throws at them. All right,